She backed away slowly, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. 3 rough-looking men stood between her and the light at the end of the alley. And in that instant she couldn't help but ask herself, why on earth had she decided to take such a route, in a country she barely knew? Her husband had been waiting in the long queue for bubble tea, tapping away on his phone, lost in work. Since she had been the one to plan this trip, he was working remotely to keep up. She didn't mind. But boredom had led her to wander. She'd told him, "I'll just take a quick walk around." And with a distracted nod, he had let her go. Now she was lost. The alley she thought would be a shortcut had turned into a trap. 3 men blocked her path, grinning wickedly. She clutched her purse. "Please. I don't want any trouble. You can take my money." But one of them laughed. "We don't want your money, sweetheart. We want a taste of that foreign merch." Her stomach dropped. Panic shot through her veins as she stepped back, whispering a prayer under her breath. One of them lunged. She squeezed her eyes shut, bracing for the worst. And then a familiar scent filled the air. Her husband's cologne. When she opened her eyes, the man who had reached for her was already on the ground, clutching his face. Her husband stood between her and danger, his jaw set, his eyes cold with fury. "My love. Are you okay?" She could only stare. The quiet man she'd married 5 months ago had just dropped a thug like it was nothing. Who was this man? Another thug sneered. "So, you're the foreign merch's husband. You've had your taste, we want ours." The third chuckled darkly. "There are 3 of us, and only one of you." Before her husband could respond, she pointed to the first man groaning on the ground. "Actually, there are only 2 of you." Even in fear, her humor found a way out. Her husband didn't smile. Instead, he shifted his stance, shoulders squared, fists clenched, eyes locked. The air changed. And then, it happened so fast she barely saw it. 2 sharp movements, 2 dull thuds. And the alley was silent again. All 3 men were on the ground. The anger faded from his face, replaced with tenderness. He reached for her hand. "Come. Let's get out of here." Too stunned to speak, she followed him. Minutes later, a sleek black car arrived. He guided her in gently, and they drove straight to the airport. She said nothing. He didn't ask her to. He handled everything, the tickets, the luggage, the paperwork, while she followed quietly, still processing what had just happened. They boarded first class, since it was only a layover flight. Even in the air, she stayed silent, staring out the window. The flight attendants tried to make conversation, but he answered for both of them. Finally, he turned to her, breaking the silence. "Are you not going to speak to me for the rest of the trip? I know it was frightening, but thank God you're—" She cut him off. "You think that is what has me riled up?" He smiled faintly, a teasing smile. He just wanted her to talk. But she turned away with a huff. He reached for her hands gently. "Come on. Since you've already said something, you might as well keep going." She looked at him, incredulous. "I don't even know who you are. We've been married for 5 months, and you never told me you could fight like that." He chuckled softly. "It just never came up. And honestly, I never thought I'd need to use it." Her jaw dropped. "You talk about it like it's nothing. So what else are you hiding?" He leaned back thoughtful. I'm not sure I even remember them all. So please forgive me if I suddenly do something unusual." "What do you mean you don't remember?" He sighed. Before I met you, before I met Jesus, I lived for approval. I wanted to be perfect. My father is a wealthy man, and I felt like I had to measure up. So I learned everything, every sport, every instrument, every form of combat. I studied every subject I could, just to be accepted, just to feel worthy." She listened, stunned. She had always known he was brilliant, but she never imagined this was where it came from. He continued, voice softer now. "But when I met Jesus, I learned that I didn't need to earn love. I already had it. Everything changed. I still have all those skills, but now they belong to him. Before I was proud, so proud that I looked down on others. Then one day I fell gravely ill, close to death, and I realized all my achievements meant nothing. That's when I started searching for real meaning. That's when I found Christ. And in Him I found peace. She was silent for a long moment, then suddenly burst into laughter. He blinked, surprised. "What's so funny?" Through giggles, she said. "You have all these skills and wealth, and I'm just a girl who graduated from a small local university. I have no special talents. The best thing about me is that I love Jesus and people. Yet you fell in love with me. You pursued me. You married me. Now you're called to love me like Christ loves the church, to lay down your life for me." And suddenly I understand that verse. We are more than conquerors. Jesus had everything, yet we, who did nothing, get to enjoy His victory. In the same way, you've worked hard, achieved so much, and I get to share in your blessings. What a wonderful life I have. She smiled warmly, eyes glistening. Truly, I am more than a conqueror.